Hello there, Senators, and welcome back to Star Wars Democracy. Tonight, we got a lot of news and a lot of ground to cover, so we're going to jump right into it. I have with me here Journeyman. Journeyman, how's it going?
Pretty good. Glad I could be back on the streams.
I know. I was telling him uh, before we were getting started here that we streamed yesterday, and everybody's like, "Where's Journeyman?" Apparently, I'm not entertaining enough, so it requires the both of us to be here to please the crowd. So I'm glad that you're here. Like I said, we got a lot of ground and news to cover. So first things first, just a reminder. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by June 1st. So if you have not yet subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help us out. Share with your friends. Share it the channel, wherever you need to help us get to those 1,000 subscribers. We're building a really great community here. We already got LEB in the chat, says howdy, and we got Senator Tony here, says hi. Great to have you senators here with us chatting tonight, because this is going to be a fun stream. We got a lot of news and a lot of ground to cover. So excited to jump right into it. So hit that subscribe button and help us out. All right, Journeyman. So we are going to start with, let's see, Bad Batch season 3, episode 5. We are on episode 5, correct? No, are we on episode 6? No. Oh, wait, I did this wrong. There's 2 episodes tonight. What episode are we on? Now I'm confused. Someone help me out in the chat.
You just had to ask, didn't you?
I know. Now I'm like, I've really messed this up. I've really messed this up.
We just got through with 5. Oh, no. A different approach was 4.
Great. So we're on 5 and 6?
The return.
A different approach.
Yeah. We're on 6.
Okay, so we're on 6 and 7.
Yeah, 6 and 7.
Great. All right. So great. I've already screwed everything up. So this one's for me.
In the name of the Galactic Senate of the Republic, you're under arrest, Chancellor.
Arresting myself.
Nice.
I'm arresting myself. Okay. So the Bad Batch season 3, episode 6 and 7 predictions. That's what we're going to start off with. Actually, we have to settle this first. The Senators petitioning to remove daylight savings time. How are you doing with the time change, by the way? I don't think we've chatted since the time change. How is it going for you?
Good for Bible study. I when we were driving over there, I thought it was like the first time that it's been daylight, and I'm like, wow, it's at this time and it's daylight out.
I know.
What a weird feeling to have.
I know. It's like we're putting our almost 2-year-old down, and it's like she goes down around 7 o'clock, and it's like daylight still blaring through the window at 7 o'clock. I'm like, this can't be right. Yet here we are with the time change.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah.
I cannot stand waking up in the morning to darkness, and it's just it's like I should still be asleep.
Yeah.
But here we are. So the senator petitions to remove daylight savings. We could take a vote on it, Ellie. All in favor of removing daylight savings time? Say aye.
I don't care. No, I really don't care. I just want one set thing. I don't care what it is. Just pick that thing and do it.
I vote in favor of not being tired.
Yeah, that's.
LEB says aye. Right, we got to vote in the chat. LEB says aye. All right. Fun times. Tony says, I'm on a 26-hour day, so daylight savings doesn't mean anything to me. Tony, are you living on Earth, or are you... Did you just make that up? Or... Oh, that's funny. All right. Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 6 and 7. What are you thinking? What do you think is going to happen? If I remember correctly, this is the Infiltration and Extraction is the episode title names. Yeah. So we talked about it a little bit on last Wednesday. So just a reminder, if you are not a channel member, you can become a senator for $2.99 a month, and you get access to the Galactic Senate Chamber Discord audio channel where we are able to talk back and forth with each other and not have to do it over a live stream format. So if you're interested in doing that, and you're not yet a member, make sure you check that out. It's only $2.99 a month. It's half a Starbucks coffee. So there you go. But we were talking a little bit about last week's episode in Discord audio channel and kind of what we think these two episodes are going to be about. So what are your thoughts? What are you thinking we're going to see?
I think we're going to see. I think this is the beginning of the plan building phase for getting into Tantus. I don't think we're actually going to Tantus yet. I think this is something because they have the plans, they have they have a lot of knowledge about it, but they don't think have quite enough yet. And I think this is going to be a critical mission where they have to go figure out some more clues or another kind of Easter egg hunt, a little bit of we need information, we need more information before we even attempt to go into Tantus. So I think that's what they're going to try and do. That's what I think the whole 2 episodes are going to be over.
Yeah, I like a lot of people are saying that these episodes could be Tantus. Like we could be going back to Tantus this
Sure.
early,
Yeah.
infiltrating Tantus and then extracting somebody off of Tantus. I was in that camp at first. I'm honestly like, I'm not saying that it's not possible. I really feel like this season we're moving pretty quickly in general. So I think it's certainly possible. Like we could be going back to Tantus this early. But as I
Sure.
started thinking about it and I'm just getting a feel for the season thus far, I'm kind of leaning at this point to like, no, it's not going to be Tantus. But that's a
Well,
possibility. So some people are saying we're going to see Tantus. Go ahead.
well, even Echo they're on uh, when they're on the island talking to each other about what's to come next, he talks with Omega and says like, with your knowledge and the plans that we have here, the information that we have here, we are getting close. We are a step closer to that goal of doing what we want to do, and that's to go back to Tannis. So, just with that information, I don't think we're getting Tantis. That would be
Yeah.
my back for like why we're not going back, at least yet.
At least yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think there's something to be said for that. Like I said, I don't think it's not possible, but I just think it's probably not likely that we're going to Tantus tonight. A lot of people are also saying that the infiltration extraction episodes are going to be possibly even the Empire.
Mm.
Like infiltrating Pabu. I believe in the trailer, I think we've talked about this before, we actually see the Empire destroying Pabu. So we know that the Empire is going to get there eventually. And I think it's possible. I mean, we have to remember this is the mid-season like finale episode. Not the
Sure.
finale of the season, but the mid-season is tonight. So generally, even in just like any TV series, and I would say especially Star Wars TV series, you get that there's going to be like a big thing that happens. So
Mhm.
it could, is that big thing going to be the destruction of Pabu? Possibly. Is that big thing going to be infiltrating Tantus and extracting someone off of Tantus? Possibly. It's definitely possible. A lot of what we were talking about, and I think this would be really, really cool if something like this happens. Possibly, maybe we could see Boba Fett in these episodes tonight. We were talking about this last Wednesday, where maybe infiltration and extraction is going to a Republic prison or old Republic prison. By Old Republic, I just mean like the former, like newest Galactic Republic that has now turned Empire, Imperial. So it's an Imperial prison now, perhaps. Maybe there's an imprisoned clone there. Maybe that imprisoned clone is Cody. I've heard a lot of people say that Admiral Rampart in season 2 was saying like said that Cody just like defected, but what if he is actually captured and taken to this Imperial prison, and Rex and Echo get some intel and they're extracting Cody. And then possibly, I think, as we've talked about before, at the last point we saw Boba Fett, chronologically, he was imprisoned, correct? We talked about that last week, I think.
Yes.
Someone in the chat, if you're watching, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe chronologically speaking, the last time that we saw Boba Fett was in an Imperial prison. So perhaps if they do something where they're infiltrating a prison, they could come into contact with Boba Fett at that point, which I think would be really cool. Let's see here. Tony says Gregor was extracted in season 2 over a 2-episode arc. Oh, here we go. Tony says, wait, here we go. I think they're extracting Wolf. So perhaps, because we have Wolf, Gregor, and Rex in Rebels on that planet. Can't remember the planet name, but we have to get Wolf extracted at some point. So it's definitely possible, Tony, that if we see Wolf being extracted. Where do you think Wolf would be, though? Do you think it would be Tantus?
I think it would be interesting for him to be on Tantus. I'll say that. Like, I just don't see them as, at least for Wolf. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think they're that high of a priority for the Empire. At least that'd be my thought on it. Unless they just need more help and they're like, we need to go get Wolf and McGregor somewhere else. But just, at least that would be my conclusion to it. Like, Tantus seems really secure, really high priority. So unless you're already on Tantus and you're not in prison like the other clones, like, I just don't see there being a reason for him to be there.
Tony says this time it will be Wolf in order to bring a conclusion to the backstory of the 3 clones. Travis is here, Senator Travis. How's it going, guys? How's it going, Travis? Glad to have you. Let's see. Tony says Boba, yes. So I think that might be in reference to the conversation we're talking about chronologically. Where do we see Boba next? So, $4.99 super Travis. Travis, thank you so much. That's super generous. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Yep.
I can't thank you enough. And just because of that, this is for you.
I love the Republic.
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate you. By the way, that leads me to a thing I was going to bring up. I'm at one point, at some point when we get maybe a little bit. Oh, I think I lagged out a little bit.
I think you're glitching out a little bit.
There we go. I think we're back. Had a little bit of a lag. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, good. I was just making sure. That little thing that I just played made me remember something. At some point when the channel gets a little bit larger, I would really love to do merch. How would you senators feel about merch that, like in like New York, where it's like I Heart New York or something like that? Have you seen those shirts? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I want to do something like
absolutely.
along the lines of like I love democracy or something like that. As for like channel merch or something. I don't know. Throw some ideas out in the chat or in the Discord if you have ideas for Star Wars Democracy channel merch. But eventually I would like to do some merch. And I'm like, I think that would be kind of funny to do like a I love democracy. But anyway,
Yep.
thank you, Travis, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Can't thank you enough for donating. LEB says, I have no theories for these episodes. I haven't had time to think about really anything lately. Well, Ellie, you're in the right place because we're chatting about it now and getting to talk about it and theorize now. So there you are. Tony says, there's that Travis again. Yeah, can't thank you, Travis, for being so generous. Appreciate it. Tony says it's any planet, so Wolf could be on any planet.
Yep.
Says it's not Tantus, it's some obscure planet. Has no meaning, just like the planet Gregor was at. Let's see. Ellie says we are sounding good now. Perfect. Yeah, just a little glitch there. Senator Tony says, nah. Is that in reference to the channel merch, Tony?
No. Heck no.
Oh.
It's treason, then.
I love those.
Travis says, in Legends, it's Ventress who takes Wolf's eye. So that could hint at who she's going up against in the trailer. Oh,
I didn't
that's interesting.
realize Wolf makes an appearance in Legends.
Yeah, here we are as casual fans again. We don't know anything.
We
We're
don't
just
know
two guys who made a podcast about
Two
Star
guys
Wars.
in our-
We don't know
in
anything.
our basement that don't know anything.
Yeah. So that's cool though. I mean, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think we're going I believe we even see Wolf in the trailer too. And then obviously we see Ventress. So we know that we're going to get both of them at some point. So that would be really cool though, Travis, is if they incorporate that from Legends.
Mhm.
Tony says help. Help me. See, I knew you were a Sith Lord, Tony. So I'm trying to think of any other. Do you think we could see Ventress tonight? Everyone keeps talking about Ventress. I put Ventress in the thumbnail of this live stream because it's like we're all anticipating Asajj Ventress.
I think there's a reason that there's a 2 arc episode. Like why they're giving us 2 episodes in the mid season. Like you don't just do that for any reason. You got to have a reason behind it. I think it might be either it's a slower episode and it deals with big characters, or it's just like 2 episodes that they think would fit together, and they're like, let's just cram it all into 2. But you got to have some reason for it. I just don't think you make 2 episodes in the middle and then cram them together and be like, yeah, we're actually gonna. These are 2 separate episodes, but we're doing them as a. Like, I think you understand what I'm saying, but
Yeah,
I just think there has to be a reason for it.
Yeah. Travis says, I was actually wrong. The last time we see Boba, he's competing for a bounty with Ventress. So he did escape prison, but he could have been captured again. Okay, interesting. I see. This is why we have Travis here. He's our in-resident Star Wars expert. And I'm glad that he's in the chat keeping us on track here. So who knows if we could really see Boba, but I think we got to see Boba before the end of the season, don't you? I just think that it just makes sense. It's literally a show about clones, so I think it only makes sense that we see Boba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. LAB says, Jesus, love God, love others. The entire law can be summed up in these 2 commandments. Me, I'm going to make this a lot harder than it needs to be. Yeah, absolutely. And it's so true. I love the fact that the entire Old Testament law given to Israel can be summed up with a single commandment of love God and love others. And we complicate it so much. Let's see here. Tony says, or sorry, this is Travis. I think it could be another two-parter where the batch isn't really present for the first episode, then come in the second episode. Okay. And then follows up by saying, I still think it'll be just a cameo in passing, but I for sure thinks he's appearing. His girlfriend, his sister, and arch nemesis are all there, so he kind of has to. Yeah, because we know we're getting Fennec Shand. We know that we're getting Ventress. We know that Omega obviously is in the show, so it just seems likely that we're going to be getting him in this series. And considering or knowing that this is going to be the last season, I think it just makes sense. So,
Yeah, if they're going to, yes.
LEB says, I don't think we'll ever see Boba in The Bad Batch. And if we ever do see Omega meet, it'll be in live action. But if it does happen in The Bad Batch, I'll eat my words. Yeah, Ellie, I think that I'm just going to go out.
I agree with LEB here. Like,
really? You don't think we're going to see Boba?
It's kind of like to me, it's kind of like at the end of Rebels, if they're gonna get back together and we see Ahsoka and Ezra and all that, like it'll be back in live action. Like I've always
Sure.
at least felt that like they're not just gonna make another season. They're gonna have to be thrown into live action in order for that to work. I feel like that's a big moment that no one's really talking about is Omega and Boba meeting, even though it's maybe not for story purposes, but I think for character wise, for both live action and animated, I feel like you have to throw them in live action. That'd be my recommendation.
That kind of supposes that we would see Omega in live action, though, right? So
yes, it does. But
and see, that's where
unless
unless
they're just doing it in passing and he doesn't know that she's that, and they don't ever have a conversation about it, then yeah, I don't see why not. But
yeah, I've always been like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to wait until the end of the season to see how they leave Omega off, because I don't think that they're going to kill Omega. I just don't see them making that choice creatively. But I think we'll see at the end of the season how it gets left off, and then that will help me make my decision on whether or not we're going to see Omega in live action. But I guess I have to disagree with you and Ellie, because I do think that, like Travis said, all the characters that could be related to Boba in some way, shape, or form are all going to be present in this series for sure that we know of. And so I think it would definitely be a missed opportunity not to come into contact with Boba at some point. Sure. However, I will say if they do it, they have to do it not in a way that, they've done some projects where it's just convenient that a character like Boba Fett would just be there. I really want it to make sense for the story. So yeah. Ellie follows up and says, I feel when people become certain that characters like Boba and Vader will be in shows like The Bad Batch, it gets people too hyped and disappointed when it doesn't happen. People say that the show isn't good. Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Yep, we are both guilty of that.
So is that why you're saying Boba's not going to be in it? Because you're just trying to not be disappointed?
And I'm right there with you, Ellie.
Travis says Vader is the one I don't want to see. Yeah, Travis doesn't want to see Vader because he thinks that too much Vader is not a good thing. That's not your argument, Travis. Your argument is if you always expect Vader to show up and save the day from an imperial standpoint, it almost seems predictable. I think that's more in line with
Yeah.
Travis's argument. Let's see. Tony says, is introducing Boba overkill and a distraction from the main plot and Omega as the main character?
No. I mean,
I
if they
don't think
introduce
so. I
him,
don't think that. You can go ahead.
you want me to? Okay. If they
Yeah.
introduce
Mhm.
him, like they've already kind of introduced him and been like, "You're." Didn't they say his name in
Mhm.
at the Camino?
Yeah,
So
I
like
think so. I think in
they
season 1.
they've name dropped him before, so I think that's the big shock. Like we all know who it is, right? So like we now know it's the thing. It's just meeting that. It's like meeting of the minds essentially. Like it's not going to distract. It's going to be a cool moment, but I think it has to be done in a way that they don't have the conversation about it, and they're just like,
Mhm.
"I'm Omega, I'm Boba Fett," like, and then we go off in our separate ways. Because, at least in my mind, where Boba is now, I don't think he has ever known that that was his sister or whatever. Like, I don't think
Well,
he ever knew.
yeah, something interesting that I saw in, I believe Star Wars Meg was talking about it. Um or somebody on her channel was talking about it or something. But that's an interesting point that you bring up because theoretically, age-wise, Omega and Boba Fett would have been on Camino at the same time
Yes.
growing up. So
Yeah.
it's almost a matter of, was Nala Se on Camino like hiding Omega? Because Omega seems to be, obviously we know that there's something special with Omega. Um, Part of that, or maybe that's all that is special about Omega, is that her uh, vessel, her body can sustain an M count transfer without the midichlorian count diminishing. So maybe Nala
Mhm.
Se was just hiding Omega as an experiment, and yeah, Boba Fett never came into contact with her. I think that's definitely possible, but I think it's worth noting that they were on Camino at the same time. So,
That's true. Yeah.
which is interesting.
For sure.
Travis says, to be fair, having Ventress being the highlight of the Bad Batch trailer distracts from the show, but I think Boba will just be a passing cameo. Daniel Logan already doing an episode this season. That's true. That's true. Daniel Logan played, was it? Oh no, I forgot his name. Didn't it start with an M? What was the clone's name in the second episode?
Um, the kids?
Yeah, what was the clone's name? I thought it started with an M. Moxie. Thank you, Travis. I think you're right. I think it was Moxie or Mox. Maybe it was Mac, Mox. I think it was Mox. LEB says Max.
Just
Marioc. Okay, now y'all are just all over. We're gonna go with Mox. I think it was Mox. Mox.
yeah.
But Mox was Manitoba. Yeah, now they're just trolling us. But I think Mox was played by Daniel Logan. So Daniel Logan, the voice actor for Boba, and no, it's not even the voice actor, but that real life actor, live action actor of Boba Fett and Attack of the Clones, has voiced a clone in this season. So definitely could be coming back, and that could have been our first hint. So,
Interesting.
Travis says Boba Fett escapes a cell on Tantus. Omega says to join them, but he says, "Get away from me," running off, looking over his shoulder at Omega before leaving. That would be interesting if Boba was held captive on Mount Tantus. And perhaps, did we talk about this on last Wednesday in the Senate chamber?
I can't remember.
But
I don't
maybe
think I
that's
did.
why. I know that we did talk about this a little bit, how Boba Fett is like scared of or intimidated by the Empire in the Mandalorian season 2, his episode. And so
Right.
that
Yep.
would be really that what Travis is saying here would be kind of cool. Like, what if he was experimented uh on Mount Tantus, and he kind of like maybe he even knows some things about what they're trying to do. Travis says we did talk
Right.
about this. There you go. So we talked about that on Wednesday. That would be cool. I think that would be really cool.
Mhm.
So what else? What else about the Bad Batch episodes dropping do you want to talk about?
Uh, I'm just honestly really
Anything?
excited for these
Anybody in the
2
chat?
episodes.
Yeah, I honestly keep forgetting that it is going to be 2 episodes. That will be kind of fun. Are you getting up to watch it?
Oh yeah.
2 a.m.? Is it
I'm
that kind of
debating
show
it.
yet, or do you?
I'm really debating it.
We got 4 people
I feel like
watching right
it's like
now. Put a 1 in the chat if you're getting up at whatever time to watch it. Put a 2 in the chat if you're gonna wait till, maybe the morning or maybe afternoon, evening tomorrow to watch it. 1 if you're getting up when it comes out. 2 if you're gonna wait to watch it. Oh, Tony says I'll be watching with Mike. That's awesome.
nice.
Mike's channel has literally been exploding. He has a short that's going viral right now. I think it has like almost 2.7 million views. He
What's the
went
short about?
from like, I think like 10, it's like a Harrison Ford, just like an interview or something, but
Oh, okay.
like one of Harrison Ford's funny interviews that has like Chewie in it. Anyway, it
Hmm.
has like 2.7 million views. He went from like 10, 11,000 subscribers to like 15,000 subscribers in a matter of just like a week,
Dang,
basically. He's gotten
that's nuts.
4,000 subscribers, and I'm like, yeah, yeah. He says he's getting 1,000 users per day. That's what Tony says. It's insane. So that's a lot of that's good for him. Good for him. Let's
Yeah.
see. Melchizedek says 1. So
No,
they're getting up
it's
to watch the
it's
episode.
Melchizedek. He just shows up again, like in the Bible.
Yeah. And then let's see. Oh, LAB says I'm going to sleep, not now, for the episode, and we'll wake up presumably and watch the episode when they wake up. Nice, Ellie.
Yep.
Let's see. Travis says I have to do a short on my Han being force sensitive thing, Han. Yeah, maybe you'll get 5,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm. That'd be nuts.
Ellie says, when I saw Omega's new fit, I thought it looked like a schoolboy's outfit with the button-down shirt with the wool vest on top. Yeah, Omega's
Yep.
character design has changed a lot. Let's see. Tony says you'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. It would be nice
Eventually.
to have 5,000 subscribers in a week, but we'll get there eventually. We'll catch up. Don't you worry.
It's a process.
It's a process. YouTube is a tough grind, that's for sure. But all of you senators are here. That's all that matters. It's a lot of fun just having you guys here. So we could not do this without you. Otherwise, we would just be talking to each other. Let's see. Travis says also, did anyone notice in the return at least Hunter is wearing Boba Fett colors? Is he? I don't know if I caught that.
I don't know that I caught that either.
I don't know if I caught that. Ellie B says, I prioritize my sleep and not being grouchy and grumpy to my family. They already deal with my little bro who bounces off the walls. Yes, sleep is a very good thing. I will probably not be watching up or watching up, waking up to watch the episodes. I'll be watching them tomorrow. So that's what I'll be doing.
I will probably be
Raphael
not
says,
staying up.
hey guys, just you're not staying up either.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I just don't
Raphael
think
says, hey guys, just dropped in, able to talk for about 20 minutes, and then I gotta go. But if you're still streaming past 12 a.m. Eastern, oof, I can join back. I don't know. We'll be, we might go past 11. We'll see. We got a lot of news and the ground to cover. So, Raphael, you'll have to remind me. You are, I think, Lion of Judah in our Discord server. I want to make sure that I get that right. Because Raphael, I believe, joined our Discord server, but has a different name in the Discord server. So I just want to make sure it's the same person. Let's see. Yeah, he says, yes, that's me. Perfect. Awesome. Glad you could make it. Ellie says, what time zone are you in? Democracy Central Time. So it's 10:08 where we're at right now. So, yep. Episodes drop at 2 a.m. All right. What do you say we go on to the next topic, which is the Mandalorian and Grogu film date?
Ooh. Okay.
Let's do it. Travis says, I'll be up because I'll be at the gym, but I'll likely pass out when I get home, so I'll watch them in the morning. Oh, goodness. So let's see if I can go ahead and pull this up. So just while I'm getting this pulled up, Journeyman, you'll have to give us your thoughts on Mandalorian Grogu movie. I know we've talked about it before and stuff, but just while I'm getting this pulled up.
Want me to give my thoughts on the Mandalorian and Grogu film?
What are you thinking in terms of the Mandalorian Grogu movie? You excited about it? Not excited about it? What are you all thinking in the chat?
I'm
Yes.
pretty excited about it. I'm glad they're bringing. I'm glad that they're actually doing it and doing a movie for Mando and Grogu. I think it warrants it. I'm kind of getting tired of the TV show format, just in general. Glad they're bringing the movies, bringing Mando and Grogu to the big screen. I'm interested in to see how it actually fleshes out and what they're going towards. I think we're going towards Heir to the Empire, but it'll be interesting what other stories or connections that we can get to that point, because I don't know how much we can get out of them too, but apparently it's enough to make a film. So I'm excited about it. I would say though, just to kind of caution everything, I
Yeah.
like Grogu, but I
Yeah.
think they're trying to squeeze that lemon as much as they can and get all the juice out of him as possible. And so while I'm excited for this film, I also understand I think I understand what they're trying to do. And
Okay.
I'm like, we will see about this. Are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to pull up this article think it was lagging just a little bit. Okay, here we go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So, based off of this article, there's like a couple of Bespin Bulletin articles that I wanted to just go over because there's a lot of news out there, and we need to cover some of it. So, Star Wars: The Mandalorian Grogu star confirms June filming start, casts doubt on fourth season of The Mandalorian. So, in the article, it says, last week, Brendan Wayne, one of the actors who portrays Din Djarin in The Mandalorian alongside Lateef Crowder and Pedro Pascal, spoke with the Tatooine podcast about various topics relating to his time of the hit Disney Plus series. During the 90-minute chat, Wayne briefly discussed the recently announced The Mandalorian and Grogu movie, the planned follow-up and Mandoverse crossover set to be directed by Dave Filoni, as well as the status of the fourth season of The Mandalorian. Early on in the interview, the topic of The Mandalorian becoming a film series arose, with the host bringing up the follow-up film to The Mandalorian Grogu, which is set to be directed by Dave Filoni and has been described as a crossover event for the various Disney Plus series he's produced, which includes The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka. Wayne played coy regarding that movie, saying that he can't confirm or deny the existence of it, but added that he thinks that Lucasfilm should make 3 films. So, let's see here. From Brendan Wayne says, I don't know. We'll see. I can neither confirm nor deny. At this point, I think they're going to make 3. Honestly, there's got to be 3. That's interesting. From Wayne is somewhat odd when the Dave Filoni film was announced officially by Lucasfilm at last year's Star Wars Celebration. There's always a ton of rumors swirling around Star Wars, so I'm sure Wayne's conservative answer was due to the fact and that he was just playing it safe if he was unsure in the moment if the movie had been announced officially or if it was just an online rumor. Let's see. Trying to go to where it starts talking about some of the juiciness here.
You talked about the fourth season right there.
One of the biggest... Yeah, okay. So it says, one of the biggest questions on fans' minds in recent months since the announcement of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is, will there be a 4th season of The Mandalorian? Last spring, Jon Favreau confirmed he had already written the scripts for a 4th season and that they were already in pre-production. Filming on the 4th season was due to begin towards the tail end of September 2023. But production was indefinitely halted in May when the WGA strike began. Since the announcement of The Mandalorian and Grogu, there's been conflicting reports on the already announced 4th season, even within Hollywood trades. Brendan was asked if there's going to be a 4th season of the hit Disney Plus series, and he said the following. No, I know we're doing a movie for sure. That's what I know. But unless they're going to abandon streaming, you abandon the thing that you built your foundation on, which is streaming, which is The Mandalorian. I mean that as humbly as I can say it. There's a reason The Mandalorian premiered when Disney Plus opened up. It isn't because we had this incredible library that everybody wants to subscribe to. It's because you had a show that was going to bring a character alive that we all dreamed of since we watched Star Wars, which was a Boba Fett-like character. So let's continue going on here. It says, lastly, Wayne was finally asked about the rumors of The Mandalorian and Grogu starting filming in June, something that's been reported multiple times from various outlets over the last couple months. Wayne kept his answer brief, but confirmed June start, saying, "That's what I heard. That's what I keep reading. I think John said June." So Though there were a ton of tidbits for fans desperate for any information regarding the Mandalorian Grogu, this interview was a fun one to listen to, and we at least got confirmation from one of the stars that the filming on the movie is due to begin in June, just 3 months away. So there you go. We can leave it at that.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Basically, someone who is working on The Mandalorian is confirming that we're getting The Mandalorian and Grogu starting filming in June.
Nice.
And it based off of this article, I don't think we're going to be getting a fourth season of The Mandalorian. I think it's strictly just going to be the movie.
Yeah. Well, to me, it sounds like they were writing the fourth one. They were in pre-production, and then the strike happened, and then they're like, "Well, we could just use what we were going to and throw that all in a movie together, and we could probably get more money, I think, by putting it in the theaters. So
Yeah.
why don't we just do that?" And I think that's the decision that they came up with.
Mhm.
We'll just make Mandalorian and Grogu film.
Well, and when we talked about, because I know we've talked about like The Mandalorian Grogu before, I've
Hmm.
heard since then that they're getting like some tax breaks and stuff. So we talked about like the budget, and I can't remember all the statistics and figures on it, but we were talking
Hmm.
about how like the budget seemed pretty small comparatively to like just TV versions of The Mandalorian. And
Sure. Yep.
so it's kind of interesting. I've heard that like they're getting like certain tax breaks and stuff. I think they're probably filming in California. And so that might be why the budget's a little bit smaller. Um, Raphael
Well,
says,
and
honestly, I'm pretty. Go ahead.
I think Bob Iger was talking about cutting costs and like we're only going to do shows for like 100 million or two, like trying to get it at least 100 million or
Mm-hmm.
close to that as much as they can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They're trying to cut costs for sure. I just hope it doesn't sacrifice the product. Like, do you
Yeah.
see what's the like? Surely not, right? Like, surely they have to have to have a plan to like make sure that the product stays good. Because I just don't understand why it doesn't make sense to make content moving forward if it's not going to be up to par with what you've been doing, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Raphael says, honestly, I'm pretty excited for the movie as well. Although I believe animation has grown on me to where I prefer it over live action, but I believe Dave Filoni can do well with this movie. Yeah, it's interesting how the stories that we see in animation have kind of like captured our hearts a little bit and really draw us in.
Hmm.
I'm with you, Raphael. I really also like the animation. Goes on to say, I also think that this movie is going to still be centered around Grogu still being a baby, but I would prefer it after this movie. They can have Grogu age 50 to 60 years so we can see his growth. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's 50 years now. And what you're saying is you want to see him 50 or 60 more years into the future. Yeah. We know this movie is going to be set obviously around the timeline of the events in the Mandalorian universe, and all the
Hmm.
crossovers and things like that.
Hmm.
But I don't think that Grogu's going away anytime soon. Um,
No.
in fact, do you think we see him in? We're going to talk about it in a little bit. Do you think we see him in the Rey movie, Grogu?
Oh, that's a big question. I I mean, this is
I
just
feel like
my
that's
Dis-
not something people have
Disney.
talked about lately, but
I just feel like Disney's gonna milk it as much as possible, and if they can find a way for him to be in there, they'll find a way for him to be in there. Like
hmm
I would like to see it. I mean, yes, is it in the Ray movie? Yes, but do I still want to see him? Absolutely. But I'm also like, are you? Is it just because you're putting him in there, or does it actually like fit a story that you planned out for a character? Once again, it's about the planning of the character.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we all care about. It's like, do you actually have the plan, and like, is it going to be a good story, or are you just throwing him in there to be like, hey, there's Grogu, and there's no really reason
Yeah.
for him to be there.
Yeah. Do you
So
execute well on? Yeah. I know what you're saying. Let's see. Ellie says it takes a trailer to get me excited for projects. Usually only certain projects with other seasons or movies that I already have my hype. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. I was pretty excited for the Ahsoka show without having a trailer. I will say that.
that this is true too. Yes.
Raphael says, I agree, although I'm excited without having seen anything yet, but I know that whenever we get the trailer, will definitely alter my excitement. Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Raphael.
Yeah.
Travis says, it'll be interesting as they need to draw in the casual fan, assuming people who don't have Disney Plus are coming to the theater as well. So it'll have to fit in the overall saga. Yeah, can we just
Well,
talk
and that's
about
the
that
other.
for Go ahead, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, and that's the other thing that he brings up a great point there. Like, so for season 3, I believe it was, like, you had to catch up a lot of people on, like, what was happening that maybe didn't watch season 2 or season 1, and you're, like, having to catch up all these people up. Are we just gonna get a recap from all of Mando up to that point now? Like, are we gonna basically retell this story, or, like, catch us up on everything and then get into the movie? Because then I feel like that kind of diminish diminishes the product. It's like, "Hey, here's something that you haven't seen, we're just gonna throw it in there for free, basically, and you don't have to go watch anything." And
It's a good point. It's like how do you catch the casual fan up? I don't know. That's a good question. I almost think that they're just going to go into it. I mean, like Travis says, they're going to draw in a casual fan. I think they're just going to go into it setting up the story in a way where you don't supposedly how Ahsoka was supposed to be, where it's like you don't have to have watched anything in order to understand. I mean, I think that was pretty debatable, right? Of like whether or not that was true for the
yes.
Ahsoka show. Because
Mhm.
I personally feel like you did have to go watch the
Yes.
Star Wars Rebels and maybe even Clone Wars to
Mhm.
get a true appreciation and understand. I mean, if anybody hadn't seen Rebels, they wouldn't have known who Ezra was, or they wouldn't have had any reason to care that Ezra was missing. You know,
Yes.
and so I just don't think that you can say that you can't watch Rebels. That I think you can watch Ahsoka and have an appreciation for it, but you don't get that same emotional level connection. And I suppose that's what they probably will just go for here, right? It's like, yeah, you could
Yeah.
jump in and start, but you're not going to have that deep, intimate connection with the characters and their
Yeah.
histories. Uh, so there you. That's my take. Let's see. Um, Travis says Grogu and Rey do potentially have connections to Palpatine and are similar in many ways, so it makes sense for them to meet. Yeah, I just wonder if we're going to see Grogu be a part of Rey's temple, because you would imagine that maybe at that point Din Djarin would be gone. But then again, Mandalorian or not Mandalorian, Grogu's a Mandalorian, so it's like, and everybody thinks he's going to be the next Mandalorian Jedi, and it's just like, ugh. I still don't love how he
No.
becomes Din Grogu in the Mandalorian season 3. It's just ugh,
Yeah.
it doesn't sit well with me. But Raphael says it was nice chatting with you guys. I'll come back soon if you're still streaming, but I hope you guys have fun. Yeah, have a great night, Raphael, thanks for joining us. It was great to have you. Thank you for contributing and being a part of the community. So, uh, Travis says, I remember Cobb Vanth showing up Fett's armor, knowing who it was. My friend being like, how did you know that? And I said, from a book I read 5 years ago. They need to avoid that with this. Yeah. It's like they have to make it just flow seamlessly without having needed to read anything up. And Tony says, same with Thrawn. Travis says, in Legends at least, and according to George Lucas, Yoda's species and ET species from ET are very close. So if they put ET in this movie, people will show up. Yeah. I don't know. It's going to get a lot of casual viewers for sure, right? Like, we know this for sure. We know this for sure. All right. Let's move on to the Acolyte, because I think we're going to be getting a trailer here pretty soon. So,
A trailer, you say?
Yes, they have. We'll come back to this one in a second. Rey's Jedi. But they have but they have dropped a Twitter account. I don't know why we always lag out when I bring up a new article, but it is what it is. Well, we'll get new technology eventually, guys. Don't worry. But yeah, they released a Twitter page for the Acolyte and like branded a page, whatever you want to call it. Things are starting to get pretty serious, and they're getting ready to release a trailer. So
Interesting.
Title of this article is The Acolyte Star Wars, The Acolyte trailer incoming. Episode links range from 30 to 45 minutes. Blah, 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 blah. So, let's begin. Lucasfilm and Disney have yet to share when fans can expect to see the High Republic era series, The Acolyte. Will hit our screens. Why does that seem so hard to read? Will hit our screens outside of the vague window of this year. 6 months ago, I was first to report that The Acolyte would release sometime this summer. And a few weeks ago, Collider shared a hard date for the series premiere of June 5th. Lucasfilm and Disney have yet to confirm the Collider report, but I'm inclined to believe it. So that's kind of fun. It's exciting to know that just in, what is it, April, May, June, 3 months from now, we're going to be getting the Acolyte. That's fun.
Yeah.
Now with the series, here you go, less than 3 months away from release, it's being reported that a trailer is currently being prepared and will likely release soon. This feels like a well done moment with the series hitting the small screen in June, and we're already in March. However, it's coming from an individual who shared accurate trailer release windows and run times in the past, cryptic 4K qual. So it's a reputable source. So Cryptic took to X to share that the Acolyte trailer is currently being prepared and that the episodes will not boast runtimes of 60 minutes, but the episodes themselves fluctuate from 30 minutes to 45 minutes. However, Cryptic stressed that there's still a fair bit of time before the release of the series, so the runtimes could change slightly before the official release, and that they'd be sure to inform fans of the final runtimes closer to release. I know most readers won't assume this, but unfortunately some will. So I must make it clear. Just because the X user is sharing that the runtimes would alter before the official release, you won't see a 45-minute episode become a 60-minute episode. It'll likely be a few minutes either side of what is reported now. So my question to you is, now that we've gotten several like live action series, I know that you and I used to be like, oh, it's a short episode, like it's not gonna be good. My question is has that changed for you, or do you still find yourself like when you get shorter episodes in like live action content form, or you're like, this is not gonna be a good episode?
I mean, to be honest anymore, I don't really know what we're getting into, whether it's live action or animation. Like I have a gut reaction of just a natural reaction of, oh, it's 30 minutes or 25 or whatever the time is. Like it's a very short episode, or if it's 50, 60 minutes, like that's really good. Like let's go. We can stay up for an hour, watching this thing. So I
Hmm.
think from just a gut reaction, I'm still feel that way, but the quality of it, I don't I'm not sure I can hint to a thing of like shorter is better or longer is better.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Like I used to be in that camp of, oh, if it's a short episode, like it's not gonna be good. And nowadays I'm like, sometimes the shorter ones are better. Like I think it's either the shortest or one of the shortest episodes of The Mandalorians is The Mandalorian season 2, episode 3, the one where Bo Katan first appears. And that
Mhm.
is a phenomenal episode. And it's, like I said, either the shortest or one of the shortest of the series. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm kind of at that point where like I don't really care anymore. Like, yeah, would I love to get 60 minutes of Star Wars content every week? Sure, but
Sometimes
sometimes
I think
more is not good.
yeah. Well, that's what I was about to say. Sometimes more you're it's kind of like the movies versus the TV shows, the whole argument for it in the first place. Like sometimes the 2-hour movie is so much better because you have 2 hours that you gotta fit the whole movie into, and you gotta try and create a narrative for that 2 hours. Whereas long content, it's great, like, we get more of it, but you have to find a story within that, and you're gonna have to try and draw things out when they don't need to be, and so
Hmm.
you're scheduled for, you know, 50 minutes and you have 5 of those, so that's or let's just do easy math, 6 if you're scheduled for 60 minutes and you have to do 6 of those episodes, you're there for 6 hours. Like, you gotta fill in 6 hours of time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, so going back to kinda your point, like, I think the shorter ones are even better, but who knows? It's still content at the end of the day. You still gotta find the balance. You gotta find the balance within the force.
Yeah, yeah, and I was listening to Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net talk to, and he was making the point that oftentimes when you get people are like, "Oh, we want longer episodes because we want more Star Wars content," and he was like making the argument and the point that longer episodes don't necessarily mean you're getting more content. You're just getting scenes drug out for longer than they need to be. And it's
Yes.
like usually when they're longer, it's not because you're getting more. It's yes, you're getting more time, you're getting more in the sense of a quantity, but the quality, I suppose, is not it doesn't make it better quality wise. It almost can make it worse in some cases because you're just taking what's already there and expanding scenes that may not need to be expanded on.
Well, and I think the best point to this is the Tales of the Jedi series. Like, those are 15-minute
Yes.
episodes. Like, they're quick, they're concise, they're to the point, and we get the point of them. And it's pretty satisfying as well. Like, it's good stories.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I think the counter to that would be what Travis is saying here. Not saying like disagree with you, but Travis said short live action episodes are inherently more boring because your brain associates it with cinema. But animation is more forgivable as we're used to have our cartoons. So it's like, yeah, if it the Tales of the Jedi works because it's animation and it's short, but it's like if Tales of the Jedi were live action for whatever reason, would it be as good? Because it's a short. And I think there's a case to be made. It's like, yeah, we
yeah, for
when you're
sure.
watching an episode, you expect it a live action episode, you kind of expect it to be drawn out just a little bit. Um, and that's not always the case, but that doesn't mean
Yeah.
that it's necessarily bad. Goes on to say also with a paid streaming platform that makes you wait a week for an episode, there's an understandable feeling of expectation of getting your money's worth. Uh, yes, Journeyman
That
and I
is
have talked
true.
about that. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we've talked about that. Let's talk about what the Acolyte is going to be about here. So, Bespin says the Acolyte, which is set during the High Republic era, will follow a former Padawan and her Jedi Master as they investigate a series of crimes, but encounter forces more sinister than what they've imagined. The series stars Amanda Stenberg of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies as the lead, as well as Lee Jung Jae, Squid Game, Daphne Keane, His Dark Materials, Manny Jack Quinto, The Good Place, Jodie Turner-Smith, After Yang, Charlie Bennett, Russia Doll, Rebecca Henderson, Inventing Anna, Dean Charles Chapman, 1917, Carrie Ann Moss, The Matrix, and Margarita Leviva, Daredevil, Born Again. So big cast.
Mhm.
So we'll follow a former Padawan and her Jedi Master as they will follow a former Padawan.
And her Jedi
What do we
Master.
think that means? A former Padawan. So is that saying like maybe the Jedi Master stays with the Order and then the Padawan leaves the Order? Because I thought this series was supposed to be from the point of view of someone with the dark side,
I think that's what
but I could be
I think
wrong.
that's what we were hinting at.
So that's kind of interesting.
I think that's what they were trying to hint at, though. If I'm remembering, like, yes, it was talking about like
Yeah.
a series of kind of, yeah. I think that's what. Maybe it's from two different perspectives. Maybe we'll follow their story from being that Jedi, being that Padawan, to them falling apart. That's probably what's going to happen, and then we can get into the meat of the story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Tony says here it kind of sounds like Balin and Shin a little bit.
Yeah, to me, it more sounds like Cal and or not Cal, but in Jedi Fallen Order, that master and apprentice, the one who cuts herself off from the Force, and then the Night Sister, or not sister, her Padawan that turned to the
Mhm.
dark side, and kind of following both of their stories. That's kind of what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. I don't know. Like if you take this section right here and read it,
Mhm.
we actually rated this yesterday. Tony gave it like almost a 10 out of 10 for excitement level. But if you read that portion right there, like that's literally a sentence. How excited do you get? Like what's your excitement out of 10? Travis says, I can say
10.
what it may be, but don't want to spoil it. If you're just speculating, Travis, you can say it. We're all about speculation here. So what do you
If
think? If you
for
read just like this brief summary, like does it
the
make you
Acolyte, which
excited? Does it
is
make you like,
set during the
like
High
it might be
Republic
good?
era, will follow a former Padawan and her Jedi Master as they investigate a series of crimes, but encounter forces more sinister than what they've imagined. That sounds a lot like that gets me excited for what it could be.
I'm with you. Like it makes me excited, and I'm happy because I want to be excited, obviously. So, and
Right.
I think I said yesterday I'm about at a 7.5 out of 10 for excitement.
I would agree with that.
I feel like I've read somewhere, but it hasn't stuck with me of like what the show's about. So I would say maybe 7.5 out of 8 out of 10 in terms of excitement. Travis says, no, it's in the High Republic books. Like I said, yeah, you can definitely throw it out there if it's speculation. As long as you're not like an inside scooper who knows the details and you're just speculating, I think it's fair to throw it out in the chat. Tony says, Travis, just go say it. Ellie says, sounds like a mystery. Yeah, it does kind of sound like a mystery. It's kind of exciting. I'm excited
Well,
for
then
it.
Travis says
I think
it's in the High Republic books.
Yeah, so I was saying, he says the High Republic. I think just if you have a theory or speculation, Travis, go for it. Tony says, Travis, just say it, or it's treason.
It's treason, then.
Tony said it, not me.
Tony says it.
Treasonous Tony. Yeah, I'm excited. Let us know, Travis. Go ahead and post it. Okay, here it goes. Says in the High Republic, Padawans can elect to not leave the Order but become a pathfinder, someone who goes their own way, using the Force to gain knowledge, find paths, and so on. Okay. I feel like there's more. Tony says, I want to be entertained. Are we not entertaining enough, Tony?
Tony, we're not entertaining enough. Dang it.
I'm very sorry, Tony.
But we appreciate you being here.
We
and
didn't go
watching
to
us.
school for this. Yeah, we didn't go to. We're not professionals here. We're just two guys who are casual fans of Star Wars.
And if we join Mike's channel, we'll
Waiting
be
for
three
Travis.
guys who love Star Wars.
Yeah. Waiting for Travis. All right. While we're waiting for Travis, we'll go on to the final. Was it the fourth and final topic?
I
I'll
believe
go ahead
so.
and bring up the article here. Skeleton Crew. I didn't go over this because I don't really care about the Skeleton Crew all that much. But Daisy Ridley's Star Wars shoot in late 2024 or early 2025. So let's read this one.
And I believe Travis has his message up.
Let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up a comment real quick. Tony said, that's a good channel name. Three Guys Who Love Star Wars? Is that what? I'm telling you, if you need to come up with a channel, there you go. Travis says, in that era, Padawans desiring to leave their masters and the Order going out into larger galaxy was embraced, but drew resentment from other Padawans who see it as abandonment. Interesting. But correct me if I'm wrong, but this has always been pitched as a movie that is going to be from the perspective of the bad guys, a dark side user.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean that.
Keep going,
that's what I
Travis. Keep
remember it as.
going. Yeah. It says Wayseeker, not
Waymaker.
Pathfinder. That's a different term. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Daisy Ridley's Star Wars film.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. It's been almost an entire year since Daisy Ridley made a surprise appearance at last year's Star Wars Celebration and confirmed her return to the galaxy far, far away in the form of a brand new movie. However, there's been very minor updates ever since. Daisy Ridley has spent the past few days at SXSW, where her film Magpie premiered to mixed reviews. The Murder on the Orient Express star has been doing press at SXSW for Magpie and has spoken a few times about her upcoming untitled Star Wars film that will see her return as Rey Skywalker as Rey attempts to build a new Jedi Academy. During her Magpie promotion, Ridley revealed that the flick could begin filming towards the tail end of this year or early next, telling Collider. That's interesting. Says, I think it could be this year. It could be, but I'm not sure. I think, to be honest, the writer strike has obviously delayed quite a lot of things. So the intention was later this year. Hopefully it will be. Otherwise, top of next, I would imagine. says, when asked about the film's title, Collider brought up to Ridley that the film was referred to as New Jedi Order during Star Wars Celebration in London last year, though nobody at Lucasfilm or Disney have confirmed if New Jedi Order is the official title. Ridley responded, I don't know. I mean, I think so from the announcement. I don't think that's changed. It's like, do these people know anything, or do they just pretend like they don't know anything?
They are actors, so I'm not saying that she
Yeah.
doesn't know anything.
Fans,
I'm just saying I don't think they know the
Yeah.
information.
yeah. Fans have often referred to Rey Skywalker film as Star Wars New Jedi Order based on details shared at last year's Star Wars Celebration, which took place 11 months ago. It's been reported multiple times that the New Jedi Order was simply a working title in the past, even as recently as a couple weeks ago when the Star Wars A New Beginning was once again rumored to be the film's title, as it is every few months from unreliable online sources. I'm curious. It talks a little bit about like a script and stuff. I wonder if they have the script ready to go or anything. The new Jedi Order film is set to be directed by Charmin Obaid-Chinoy, Miss Marvel director, and currently does not have a release date. The next Star Wars movie is slated to be released on May 22nd, 2026, and though Lucasfilm hasn't confirmed it, it's believed that date is being held for The Mandalorian and Grogu, which begins filming in June. The next date listed for a Star Wars movie is December 18th, 2026, which could be when fans will see Ridley's Rey Skywalker back on the big screen. Daisy Ridley can next be seen in Disney release Young Woman and the Sea, which is due to receive a limited theatrics release on May 31st, 2024, after being bumped up from being straight to Disney Plus release. So there you have it. We could be getting the Rey Skywalker movie here pretty soon because they're gonna start filming. So yay.
It's exciting. I'm
That's it.
so happy.
That's it. Yeah.
I think
I
we
don't
all know
know.
how
It
we
is what
feel
it
about
is,
this,
right?
but
I have hope for it. It's just I want to know what it's about. You know, I mean, we know that it's going to be about the new Jedi Order, blah 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 blah.
yeah,
But it's like, come on, give us a little bit more. Give us a little bit more. Let's
Yeah.
see. Oh no, my chat scrolled all the way to the top. I got to scroll all the way down. Travis says, it'll be interesting. As an acolyte, we're going to be seeing a Jedi Order working alongside the Hutts as their allies during this time. Yeah, that is going to be interesting. It's going to be a whole new era, obviously a whole new era of live action content that we've never seen. Tony says, then at the end of the Clone Wars, the Yoda Jedi all die and Qui-Gon Order takes over. What did I miss? I feel like I missed something here.
What?
At the end of the
I'm
Clone Wars, the
confused.
Yoda Jedi all die. I feel like I missed something here.
Tony.
Oh, here we go. Wish Qui-Gon had not died and took Anakin and himself to find a new order. They're just like, we're gonna go find new friends and then leave the Jedi Order and try to go find somebody else. That's funny. Funny. Tony says that sounds like a what if again from yesterday. Yeah. I was telling Journeyman that you were giving us a hard time, Tony, for doing it too difficult of a what if. Shall we pose it to Journeyman, or should we save him from that pain of having to endure what we did? This is why I have to have you on the stream, because it was painful yesterday trying to do a Galactic Senate discussion just with myself only speaking and then the chat, which you all did a fantastic job, by the way. But it's hard. Let's see. More excitement for Acolyte now than I was before. 7.5 excitement for me. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Travis. Travis says, wasn't painful for me. So we discussed what if Anakin never turned to the dark side yesterday. We did a what if for the Galactic Senate discussion.
What if Anakin never turned to the dark side?
And basically, Travis and Tony are treasonous because no matter how you spin it, Anakin, or no matter how you spin it, Palpatine still becomes powerful and destroys everything. So,
I would disagree. I think they would be. I think we don't even get 4, 5, and 6. It ends at 3.
yeah, but the hard part is like there are so many pivotal points of Anakin's life that point him to the dark side, like beginning with his mother. It's like what has to be true for Anakin not to turn to the dark side, or at least start down the dark path.
Hmm.
And it's like he starts down the path when his mother dies.
True.
So I'm gonna turn on some music here while we round out.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, it was extremely difficult.
Journeyman would like a scenario when the sequels never existed. I mean, you know me so well, Tony. Oh.
Yeah, he's like, get rid of those things.
No.
Yeah, it was quite a painful time.
I think, in a way, I think if Padme had been in this, I know she couldn't be, but if she was in the chamber with Anakin, while he's dealing with his feelings and like trying to decide what he should do, I feel like Padme, although maybe not totally, I feel like she could have helped him manage it and be like, you need to go, like, we understand what Mace has been doing or like treating you or whatever. Like, he could have let it out and been like, but I'm still, she could have directed him and been like, but you need to go help out Mace. Like, you know, we know who it is now. Like, you need to go help him out. I feel like he would have, at least in my mind, I feel like he could have managed it more. Maybe not fully, but I feel like if anything, maybe you do still get 4, 5, and 6, but instead of Palpatine having that power, you probably get, that'd be an even better thing. If Anakin killed Palpatine and then took over as 4, 5, and 6 as the Emperor, that'd be a better what if.
Yeah, it was challenging. It was challenging for sure. Travis said, to be fair, we only jumped onto the Mace and Palpatine fight as the point of him not turning. Yes, that is true. We basically came down to like, yes, so were there things prior to the Mace, Anakin, Palpatine in Palpatine's office that pointed Anakin to the dark side? Yes, we did determine that. But we came to the conclusion that what really solidified Anakin's turn was obviously the fact that he betrayed Windu, the Jedi, etc., etc.
Right, yeah.
And yes, Travis is right. We came down to that. But then Travis and Tony were like, well, Palpatine still could have executed Order 66 or had somebody else execute Order 66. And then the Jedi would have become, targets of the clones, and maybe the Jedi would have been wiped out by the clones. Or even if they don't get wiped out by the clones, they would become like basically the Republic and the galaxy would turn on the Jedi because they would be labeled as treasonous like they were in. So yeah, they took it back down that path. So
I'll have to think about that a little bit more actually, but
yeah, let us know in the Discord what you think. So
yeah,
let us know what you think. Well, everybody, I think we've covered all the news that we were planning to cover. we will. The plan is tomorrow's Wednesday, so we'll watch the Bad Batches episode 6 and 7. And then the plan for those who are senators of the channel, we are going to be chatting tomorrow night on the Senate Chamber audio channel. So if you don't have access to that and you want access to that, make sure that you become a channel member. You get access to the Senate Chamber Discord audio channel, the loyalty badges that you see Travis and Tony have in the chat, custom emojis, priority reply to comments, members only like chats and polls and things like that. If you want access to all that good stuff, make sure you become a channel member. Make sure you share with your friends the channel. We're trying to get to the 1,000 subscribers by June 1st of this year. That is the goal. So make sure you share and tell them to subscribe. Drop a comment on a video, all that good stuff. What else? Make sure you like the stream. If you haven't liked this stream already, that really helps the algorithm and all of that good stuff. So like the stream, leave a comment. What else am I missing, Journeyman? I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
We appreciate you being here, watching this. Like we said, we're just two guys sharing our opinion here on YouTube. So we appreciate you even just watching and listening.
Yeah. We are just chatting away. I couldn't thank you all enough for being here. It's a lot of fun when you guys are here. Otherwise, like I said, we would just be talking to each other. And thank you again, just highlighting Travis's super chat here. Thank you so much, Travis, for that donation. That means a lot, and it makes me and I think Journeyman want to keep doing this. So thank you so much. LEB's going to bed. Good night. Good night to you, LEB. Thank you for joining us. Travis says, great stream as always. See you in the Discord. Take care. See you tomorrow. Waiting for your next video, Journeyman. Journeyman, do you make videos?
No, I don't know what he's probably wanting me to make a channel so I can make my theory on that. What if Anakin took over?
Yeah, there you go. Waiting for your next video, Journeyman. There's your video idea. So take it and run with it, Journeyman. All right, we're gonna go ahead and motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, we're motioning to adjourn. May the force be with you always.